Alright, today I'm making a video. I'm getting ready to start carrots in the greenhouse. Today is March 8th for upstate New York, zone 5B. So this bed was, bear with me, the wind is brutal outside, so the plastic's rattling. But this bed was planted in tatsoi in the fall, and some of it overwintered a little bit. But I had it covered in that black landscape fabric for about 2 weeks to get the soil temperature a little warmer, and also to germinate the weed seeds. Trying to find some. Already broad forked most of it, but there's little weeds sprouting up. That's the tatsoi that's left in it. I'm not gonna worry about that. But anyway, there's some. You can kind of see if I can zoom in on it. Camera's not picking it up, but there's little weed seeds that just sprouted. That's the reason. The other reason I put that black landscape fabric down is it warms the soil, and I do that in the spring. Actually, that's how I germinate carrots too, and even in the summer. But in the spring in here, when I want to go planting something that likes cold, I'll tarp it and check and wait for the weeds to germinate. Once the weeds germinate, I know the soil temperature is probably warm enough to germinate carrots. So there we go. So I'll finish broad forking that little end real quick. Then I'm going to go up through it with a flame weeder and just burn off those sprouts, weed seed sprouts. And then we'll power harrow it, and then we'll plant carrots. This is soil in here is rocky clay. I picked some rocks out, but I definitely don't have them all. So when I broad fork now, if I hit a rock and it comes to the surface, I'll pull it, but other than that, I just leave them. They work their way up. If I were to hand dig them all, I'd be there for the rest of my life. Trying to get the camera lined up good so you have a better view. So here's the broad fork. You just jam it in the ground, pull back, jam it in the ground, pull back. I did the entire bed this way. I've already done this, but I'm going to come up here just so the camera will pick it up, I believe. Just to get the bed nice and loose. This is especially important for carrots. For like lettuce, tomatoes, things like that, I won't even bother. But for carrots, they don't like to fight their way down in the soil. So this is my broad fork. It's made by Treadlite. So I don't know. I've had it for a few years now. Works really nice. It's amazing how deep that thing will dig, even through the hardest packed soil. So now I'm going to take the flame weeder and go and burn those weed seeds off. Well, this sprouts. We're just looking for them. Just kind of cover the whole bed. The power harrow will bury a lot of them too, but I find I have better luck if I burn them off. I bought this, I believe, at Harbor Freight. Nothing special. Pretty cheap. Great way to get off to a weed-free bed. There's a nice clump of them. I suspect they might be tomatoes, some of them, because we had tomatoes in here and they look kind of like tomato seedlings, but either way, I'm not putting tomatoes in here right now, so they would be a weed. And I'll just come back down it. Some of it's definitely grass. So the other reason for broad forking is with heavy soil like this, you put the compost on top, and when you crack it open, some of the compost will fall down in those cracks, and over time this bed will become very, very nice and loose without constant tillage. Now, I probably should pull this cat soy out, but it's also good organic matter. It should get killed by the power harrow. Gotta be very careful with this, not to hit the greenhouse plastic if you're on the sides. But we're done with that. Quick, easy process. So, take you over here and show you the BCS. This is a 1995 BCS 850. I bought it used, obviously, a couple years ago, and it had a Briggs & Stratton Vanguard on it for an engine. That worked almost all summer last year, and then it kind of grenaded, so put the Harbor Freight Predator on it. Wish I would have done it sooner because that thing runs amazing, and it's way better on gas. Not that this uses a lot of gas, but it's 13 horsepower. So on the back we have, it is a, I don't remember the manufacturer. It's a power harrow that attaches to a BCS. But what that does is the tines, instead of going like normally on a rototiller in a circle up and down, the tines on this go the opposite direction, so it just lightly breaks the top of the soil, makes it nice and loose, and it doesn't bring up the lower soil. It just reworks the top surface. That handle on it can adjust the depth. So on this bed, since carrots are going there, I'll crank it down about 3/4 of the way, which will be about 4 inches, and just let it work that top 4 inches. The reason we do that is every time we till the soil and bring it up, we're bringing up weed seeds, which broad forking it does do that some, because the soil's heavy, I pull it back further than you would have to if it was a loose soil. But there we are. So back to the tripod for you, and we'll get this thing running. Go up that bed. It's gonna be loud. All right, we'll see. It's been sitting for about, I don't know, a couple days. See if it starts. Just like that on the first pull. Love this thing. Right now we're just backing up the bed. We're not running the attachment. These have a safety feature, so anything that goes on the back of this machine can't be turned on when it's backing up, so it can't run you over. Alright, so we'll set the clutch and brake for a minute. Turn the handles out so that I can operate it. Activate. Gotta be forward to activate the PTO. We'll drop this down. It'll go 6 inches, but I know about where 4 inches is. Or a guess. So it's touching me in the head. So we're all ready to go. Makes a nice firm planting bed. Get here. Go ahead and turn the PTO off. It's a bit obnoxious getting up over this board. I need to cut it out. That was our original greenhouse app. Let's see if it'll climb it. So that's the planting bed that it leaves behind after you run that. Perfect for carrots. See, this tatsoi got replanted, so I'll just pluck it out. Throw it in the walkway. A couple pieces. Where's that grass? Get that grass, I see. But yeah, we should be ready to go for carrots. So now I'm going to seed them. What I'm seeding today is Mokum. Mokum. These are seeds from last year. So they're going to take in here this time of year about I'm going to say 14 to 21 days to germinate. And then 36 to 54 to grow. That's the days to harvest is 36 to 41. I'm sorry, 36 to 54. So it's March 8th. Hoping to have them up by beginning of April. And then we can harvest them for the first week of the farmer's market. First couple weeks, which is the end of May. Everything grows slower this time of year with the reduced daylight hours and the reduced temperatures. It's also cool in here at nighttime, so that slows stuff down. But with that black over the top, the soil will be warm and help with that germination. So I'm using the Earthway seeder, and I seed all my carrots with the plate that's marked carrot light. So what I'm going to do here is normally I'd put 5 or 6 rows on a bed that wide, 30 inch bed. That Power Harrow's 30 inch. So normally I would put 5, 6, sometimes in the middle of summer outside I'd put 7. But we want to plant this bed into cucumbers. They should be out here probably second to third week of May or beginning of June, and there could still be carrots in there. So if these aren't all pulled by then, I don't want them in the way. So what I'll do is I'll only put 4 rows of carrots on the bed, keeping them to the outside shoulders. That way, when I want to put the cucumbers in, I can go right up the middle with the carrots still in it and go straight from have carrot and cucumber at the same time, and then just the cucumber before the cucumber gets big. So I'm going to go ahead and seed it out right now. So one of the things about the Earthway that people complain about is it does drop a lot of seeds. That's why I use the light plate. And I don't really have too much problems with it. And you have to keep it tipped. You have to keep it tipped towards the plate. So it's a little awkward. And it's a little short. There's one row coming from that. About 2-3 inches. Then we'll turn around. We'll seed this one. Trying not to walk on the bed and go as straight as possible. But see how I'm keeping it tipped? Cedar. Getting a little close right there to the middle. Those will have to come out first. But definitely not the most straight rows, but good enough. Carrots won't mind. So now, carrots are really small seeds. If they dry out, even for a couple hours, they'll not germinate or die. So I cover the beds. This works. This is my fabric that I use. As you can see, I've had it for several years. Outside, I have to put bricks on it, but in here, there's not so much wind, so. Jump over the bed. So what this is going to do is days like today, it's 23 degrees outside, about 70 in here, but that's going to absorb the heat and warm that soil underneath and get those seeds germinated faster. It's also going to keep the moisture in. So in the summer, we don't need the heat, we need the moisture. But there you go. That's it. Carrots, hopefully I'll make an updated video in about 2 to 3 weeks. Thank you.